very stupid leaders. We have leaders that are very stupid, but now we have a very smart leader. And here is the story. And here is the story. And here's what some of the super conservatives don't like about me, because I'm a free trader, but I'm a really smart trader, right? So I'm going to tell them, sorry, folks, but every car, truck, and part that you make and is shipped into the United States, you are going to pay a 35% tax on it. Okay? You're going to pay it. So you're going to pay a 35% tax anytime you ship a car, truck, or part into the United States. Now, they're going to say, Mr. President, no way, we can't do that. Then I'm going to be besieged by lobbyists and all these people, half of whom I know. I'm not going to do anything for them. I know them. Some are good guys, some are real sleaze, by the way. I want to tell you, these are serious sleaze. These are really dishonest people. These are players at the highest level. So I will be besieged by these people, and I'll just laugh at them and hang up, and that'll be it. Within 24 to 48 hours, I will get a call from the head of Ford, and he will say, Mr. President, we have decided that we will build our new plant in the United States. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now, that's not 90% sure. It's not 95% sure. Not 98 point. That's 100%. 100%. 100%. And I want to do it myself, I'm sorry. And they'll say, I can't believe the President of the United States is calling Ford and Carrier. How about I call Carrier air conditioner? This is the President of the United States. By the way, any air conditioner unit that you make and ship into the United States, you're going to be paying a 35% tax. Oh, no, Mr. President, I promise we're not leaving. We're staying in the United States, sir. We love the United States, okay? Now, they've got all kinds of formulas. They've got all sorts of nonsense. It's the only way you're going to keep your companies, folks. And if you want to keep your companies, get used to it, because that's what's going to have to do. And don't call it free trade anymore. Call it really, really, really smart trade, all right? One of these guys said yesterday, oh, my God, Donald, it was this stupid Romney, stupid Mitt. He is a dumb guy. I swear, I've always said he's a dumb guy. Stupid Mitt said, Donald Trump will ruin our economy. Well, our economy had last quarter GDP 0. We had no growth. You know, if China has 7 or 8%, it's like a catastrophe. With us, we had no growth. Last quarter, no growth. We're growing, and yet that's going down. We're going to be negative. We're going to be negative GDP. That means that people are leaving. That means that our industries are leaving. That's what's happening. I'm telling you, he's a stupid person. Here's the story. Here's the story. He said, we will ruin our relations with other countries. Now, China, I'm very friendly with them at the highest levels. I love China, great. But I made a lot of money on China. They pay me tens of millions for my condos. I told you I have the biggest bank in the world as my tenant. I own the Bank of America building in San Francisco, a big chunk of it, 1290 Avenue of the Americas, one of the biggest buildings in New York City, largest floor plates in New York City, all through China. And I don't mean friendly, I mean sort of unfriendly. But I think China's great. They're smart. They come at you in waves. They don't have a meeting with one person. They have like 15 people, so that if the one guy makes a mistake, they catch it. These guys are smart. And we'll have some, hack sitting across the table from these 16, 15 killers. The poor guy doesn't have a chance. That's going to end. Okay, so here's the story. So Romney said, he'll ruin our economy. We won't be able to trade anymore. Let me tell you something. Hey, folks. When you lose $500 billion a year with a company, when you lose $500 billion a year with all of these companies that we do business with in China, but more importantly, when you lose $505 billion, to be exact, in trade deficits with China, who the hell cares if you do business or not? Who cares? We can't do that. We can't have trade. We can't have trade deficits of the magnitude that we're talking about. Breaking even is not great, but if you broke even, I can see it. But, we're worried about, we have politicians like a Romney guy. These are people from the wrong age. When you have that kind of a loss, Mexico, we have a trade deficit with Mexico of $58 billion a year. That's why a lot of people say these politicians come off the stage recently. They say, you can't get Mexico to pay for the wall. I said, of course we can. Now, they can't. By the way, I could give them all the ammunition. They still would. Look at the Iran deal. $150 billion, we got nothing. And we should have had our prisoners back 4 years ago, not now. We should have been back 4 years ago. And we shouldn't have started the negotiations until they came back. That deal was made by incompetent people. So here's the story. Here's the story. So with Ford, they're going to move back. And they'll tell me, and it'll be so beautiful. And I'll be so happy, even though I'm not supposed to make the call. But I'm going to make the call. Not presidential, but I'm going to make the call because it's too easy. And they'll say, Mr. President, we're moving back. Would you like him to move to Michigan? I say, yeah, I really want him to move to Michigan. Okay, I want him to move to Michigan. So all of the polls, and they'll move back. We're going to stop this onslaught. We're going to lose. I'll tell you what, this election better take place fast because we're not going to, by the time I take office, we're not going to have any companies left in this country. China has taken alone millions of jobs, thousands and thousands of plants and factories. Thousands. You wouldn't believe that. But then they actually gave me a number of 50,000. I can't believe, so I'm not going to say 50,000. But I hear 50, but let's just say thousands. They've taken thousands of plants and businesses, and we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it. We have rebuilt China. Now, China is just one, and I use that because it's by far the biggest, and it's the biggest abuser. But China, but Mexico, I'll tell you what, for your industry, Mexico's a disaster. Mexico is, for the car industry, Mexico is a total and complete disaster. Now, in all fairness to Michigan, we're going to try and get them to go to Michigan. But you know what? At least they got to stay in the United States, right? They have to stay here. They got to stay here. And they're going to stay here, and ideally they're going to stay in Michigan. So here's the story, folks. When I first started, it was about trade, it was about the border. Then you had the horror show in Paris. And by the way, I will protect 100% the Second Amendment. Second Amendment. I will repeal and replace Obamacare, which is a catastrophe. I will totally terminate Common Core. Education will be local. And I will totally rebuild our military. It'll be bigger and better and stronger than ever before. And nobody will mess with them. And one thing, and I have to say this because I say it all the time, we have to take care of our vets. Our vets are being treated horribly. You know, our vets, this is a number that's hard to believe also. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Our vets are being just treated horribly. Think of this. 22 suicides a day. It's not even a believable number. 22 suicides a day. So we're going to help our vets. Right now, illegal immigrants are treated better than many of our vets. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But today was special. Because it's Michigan, I did want to talk about industry. I did want to talk about the cars. That's why I spent so much time talking about cars. We're going to bring the industry back to Michigan. We're going to bring a lot of industry back to our country. Someday, Apple is going to make their iPhones in the United States and not in China. And it's not going to be too far off. We're going to make it so that they do that. We're going to make it so that it makes economic sense for them to do that because we have people in Washington that truly don't know what they're doing. So this has been an amazing honor. This is an amazing place, an amazing state. We're way up in the Michigan polls, and I want to keep it that way. You know, the polls don't mean anything because the worst is you're way up and you win by a little bit, and then they say, oh, he had a bad day. We got to show, just do me one favor. Give me that big margin. I want the margin because it gives us more power. Right? So, on Tuesday, please, everybody, no money. I don't want anything. I just want you to go out and raise your hand. Raise your hand. Go out and vote. I love you. I love you, Michigan. I love you, Michigan. Thank you. Thank you, Michigan. Go out and vote. You're going to be very happy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.